Ambrose, and you're watching EXTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Extra Time TV. This is Andre Sooklal with my new look. All the hair is gone, folks. And yes, I'm joined by a guy who still has all his hair and it's looking magnificent. I'm jealous. Ryan Persaud of the Jamaica Tallawahs. How are you today?
Doing well, especially after today's game.
Oh, yeah. We had to talk about that. I mean, that was definitely an amazing result. Even though I'm looking at the score and it looks ridiculous. 255 runs. Ryan, before we talk about anything else, let's talk about that game.
Yeah, I mean, for one, it's the biggest win in CPL history. 120 run margin to win by. So that's huge. Andre, had the fastest 50 as well in CPL history in 14 balls, scored 50. So a lot of milestones in this, but the biggest takeaway as a team, I would say, is that it sends a big message to all the other teams this year, so that we're not messing around. It's all it was.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, last year everybody knows about the TKR undefeated season, but this first game definitely. I mean, anybody who is not paying attention will pay attention now. That was a very dominant performance. And, St. Lucia, no pushovers. They are not, some small team. So, that's a very dominating, intimidating performance where, TKR started off with a loss. I mean, there's a lot of games, things could turn around. But do you think that this is a message to everybody else? Listen, Tallawahs are here, as you said, and they mean business. And you guys going to maybe go all the way this time?
That's definitely what we're hoping for. Hoping to, take the trophy home this year. And just like you said, there were definitely no slouches there today. You had Faf Duplessis, Andre Fletcher. It was a good team that we played against. It's no slouch. So I think it definitely sends a big message to the rest of the guys out there that we definitely mean business this year, and we're looking to take home the trophy.
Yes. So, obviously EXTV covers a lot of sports. T20 cricket is one of my favorites because for those of you who don't know, primarily we started off with football and soccer for you Americans, but, football, but, the T20 form of cricket is so different from what people usually stereotype the game. The people, wrongfully stereotype the game as boring and slow, but T20 is far from that. And even, the traditional titles for players, for example, you're a bowling all-rounder. Is that correct?
Correct. Bowling all-rounder.
Yes.
Primarily a leg spin bowler,
mm-hmm.
and definitely a batsman myself.
Yes. So, the tournament has been held in St. Kitts this year, folks. But, I have to hold the fort down and interview these cool guys like Ryan and so on to talk about things. So, Ryan, a little bit away from cricket. For folks as well, Ryan and I met last year at the CPL. Last year, I was working with TKR, and we had a lot of fun. Off the field, everybody mingled really great. It was a lovely experience off the field. And, I was fortunate to meet Ryan and we hung out, not as much as we would like, but, I don't think we would have met any other under different circumstances. And, I discovered that, Ryan is, he likes his TikTok and he also likes his video games. And I saw you took part in, the esports thing. So are you an active gamer or just a casual gamer?
I would say more casual. I play the thing is I got into the tech industry beforehand. I studied biology originally at school. I was on a pre-med track. That's what I got my bachelor's in. And then I went into film from there. Had my days around the Hollywood industry, that whole stunt. And then from there, I went into tech. So generally, a lot of my friends now turn out to be gamers. And I was never a gamer. I just played cricket. But now, no, I'm definitely more into gaming now, just from being them. I mean, as soon as I got the friend group, they all made sure. Actually, they bought me my PC. They built it, put it all together. It's a huge gaming PC. They did it for like my birthday a couple of years ago. But whatever games they're playing, they'll make me download it. I'll play it with them. I played Call of Duty with them, Rocket League. Trying to think of some other game, Apex Legends. Played that one a bit. And honestly, they try a lot of new games all the time. So whenever those come out, they usually make me download it and try it with them. But it's not like I hate it. I enjoy myself. It's a good time. But definitely something they got me into a lot.
Yes, yes. And, the reason I brought it up, I was also a more an outdoor guy myself. And, a lot of people don't know there's a stereotype, just like there is with athletes, stereotype with guys, and girls who like games. And, I discovered that everybody likes it. It's such a recreational thing. It's so cool. It's so chill when you're not practicing and training. It switches your mind off. When I was at the hotel, those guys were playing FIFA at an extremely competitive level. Guys would get mad at each other and so on. You and I tried to play the night of the final, but just time didn't permit. So maybe one of these days when time does permit, we could try and play each other online and maybe laugh at each other because we both are hilariously bad, I guess. Maybe I'm speaking for myself. I don't know. We should play a game that none of us played. What do you think?
I'm in for that. See, my thing with gaming is hard for me. Like, I'm casual, but in the sense that when I do play it, I'm into it because just from cricket alone, I'm a very competitive guy, very intense. So I bring that same energy into the gaming world when I'm there. So it could be rough when I'm going against guys, like Persaud example, guys with like 5 KDs, 5.0, and I'm just getting ripped from across the map. But just my competitive nature, I gotta do better. I gotta get it to.
Same here. I when I get shot immediately when I land, it's kind of annoying. So it drives me crazy, and I have sleepless nights thinking about it. So this is the second year back to the cricket now. The CPL has taken place, in a bubble, sort of. It's a bit more of a relaxed bubble, I think, compared to what we were in last year. What is the difference between this year and last year?
Well, last year, we're at the Hilton there in Trinidad, and it's not really a resort. It's more of a hotel. Our only outside place was that little balcony area, the veranda that we were on overlooking the savannah. And that was nice. But here, it's a whole resort. There's a pool. There's a whole beach area. There's a little tennis court, basketball court. So it's way bigger than last year and a little more freedom to go about getting things. Another difference is we're allowed to order food from outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, that Hilton food, it was rough last year doing that for almost 2 months straight. So yeah, at least, we aren't able to go out and about the island, but at least we can, get some of the flavors in there, try the food and, stretch our legs around this resort. So we would all love to get out of the resort too and touch the road and check out outside. But, we're working with what we got here. And I would say definitely better than last year's.
Yes. And in terms of preparation, obviously preparation was hampered. I saw that last year. Obviously you guys flew in, TKR was obviously had the home advantage in some cases, but has that affected your training and preparation? Clearly from the first game, it doesn't look that way.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a thing here. A lot of guys have been traveling around playing cricket before this, whereas last year, COVID was a very new thing. So everyone was very indoors, big on the quarantine. And not saying there's no quarantine here, but the whole idea of the bubble, that came about last year, even around CPL time. And that's continued for the last year. So a lot of these guys are coming out of the West Indies bubble into this bubble. Some guys are coming out of the bubble from the 100 in England into this one, and all different parts of the world here. For myself, there's been a lot of cricket in America since, a lot of vaccine surplus there right now, actually. So, in my area around New York and New Jersey, things have actually opened back up. So all the leagues, a lot of leagues that I'm into, they require vaccinations. And yeah, it's been great. It's been great. I've been able to train and play cricket way more. So, and I think a lot of the guys embody those same sentiments. I saw a lot of them even traveling to the U.S. to play, because in some of their home countries, some guys from Trinidad, some guys from Jamaica, where they still have some lockdowns, have been traveling out to America to play, which is something you don't usually hear about, guys traveling from the West Indies to America to play cricket, as opposed to the other way around. So, but I think guys here are definitely a lot more prepared than last year. That's for sure.
Yeah, but definitely looks that way. So it's definitely going to be a competitive tournament. I mean, obviously, that undefeated streak that TKR had was gone after the first game. So, it shows that people mean business this time around. And a lot of the franchises, for example, Barbados and St. Lucia and so on, got new they got basically rebranded. It's St. Lucia Kings and things, and Barbados Royals, I think. So
Yeah.
it shows you that people are investing. So no longer it's no longer the Trinbago Knight Riders, but everybody else. And to me, that is a testament that the tournament is growing, because in any tournament, not just in cricket, people are worried that sometimes it gets a little stale if the same people look like they're dominating. But it looks like this time around it's going to be exciting as a neutral looking at the game. But building on what you were saying before, obviously, when you speak about cricket, wrongfully so, people think English, Australia, South Africa, West Indies. But obviously, by your accent, people could obviously tell that you are from not from those places. So where are you from exactly?
So I was born and raised in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Around 10, 11, I moved out to New Jersey. And currently I live right on the border of New York, New Jersey. I live in a high rise kind of right on the Hudson River.
Oh, nice.
So I like to kind of claim both in a way, but no, I'm currently stationed in New Jersey right there. And of course, in that time, I spent time in different areas, spent a couple of years in LA and all that. But yeah, mostly from that tri-state area.
Yes. He's a well-traveled guy, folks. He's a well-traveled guy. So, usually the reason why I'm doing it like this, I'm not going to ask, the generic cricket questions like what were the pitch conditions like? But since we're talking about pitch conditions, what are the pitch conditions like in St. Kitts? Because, it's people say that, obviously it's a bit smaller than what the Trinidad and Tobago had. What do you think about that?
Definitely one of the smallest grounds I've played on. It seems that the groundsman here put in a lot of work. So I spoke with Dave today. He's one of the head groundsmen that they brought in from New Zealand. He's been here for the last 6 weeks working on this. So they flew him out really early. And it seems very well, like today, the pitch had a lot of grass on it. There was a little moisture on it in the morning. They wet it like last night due to the fact that, 33 games are being played at one field and there's only 3 pitches. So I believe they're using this one pitch the first 4 days of games, and then they're going to rotate and move around. So that's why whoever won the toss today was sending the other team to bat. So that's ended up what happening with us. They won and put us into bat, which ended up working out for us. The ball was definitely holding up a bit because of the moisture in there, but not as much as everyone thought. And once our batsmen adjusted to it a bit, they were able to deal with it. But the pitch, it seems like it's playing through a lot better than how Trinidad was last year.
Okay.
For sure. Trinidad, there's a rough wickets to bowl on. Definitely big spinners wickets, and towards the tournament, they got even more so. So here, the Pacers can still get their worth as well.
All right, because I know a lot of people before the tournament were asking questions about that in particular, having pretty much the entire tournament on one ground, if it would be brutal on the pitch and if it would affect the players and the teams. But it seems like so far, I'm guessing, obviously you guys are, highly prepared. You knew what you were getting into. So I guess pretty much everybody is adaptable and adapted really well from what I'm seeing, especially you guys after what I saw in that game. So, I know you're really tired from, I've been there, so I know how brutal the sun is, but I had the fortune of sitting in the stands while you were out on the pitch running around. So I can imagine how brutal it is. So, what we'll do is, throughout the tournament, we could have some periodic chats and, update the fans and so on. I could speak to everybody else. I'm not just going to speak to TKR guys. So, I'm going to speak to you, Mark Dial from St. Lucia and whoever else. And it's interesting to get this perspective because of all the factors we mentioned before. Obviously the COVID-19 pandemic, things are very different. The bubble is a little bit loose. It's a different pitch. And, it's an all new experience. You can't say this one is similar to last year. And that's where only you guys like you could really explain that. So, Ryan, It's been an absolute pleasure. I won't keep you because I know you need to get your rest and regeneration, but it's an absolute pleasure. And we look forward to chatting with you. But before you go, where can the fans find you on social media and so on?
You can check me out at my Instagram page is Ryan King Persaud. Same as on Facebook. Been posting a lot more on Instagram now, so it's probably a good place to check me out on there.
Yes, y'all. And folks, you can find me at Extra Time TV TT, and also, Twitter and Facebook. Same tag, I think. And then check out our new page, extvmedia.com, where we're doing some upgrades. So you guys can check out some of our blogs and articles there about the CPL, football, esports, and pretty much anything relating to sports. So Ryan, it's been awesome. We'll definitely keep in touch. And thank you for joining us.
Anytime. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Just a reminder, everyone, for more episodes with Shaka Hislop, be sure to head over to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more updates, interviews, and content.